This is week 2, day 1. So what I wanted to do is go through and just kind of go over a quick overview for this week. This week was a lot of information to take in. So this week we did publishing. On day 1, we started publishing. What we worked on is your hook and your story. One of the big things that they talked about is the example that Russell talked about was, as a comedian, what happens is you may have some amazing jokes, but the way that you get amazing at your jokes is you start with 10 jokes. You may go to what's called a dive bar, which is like a breeding ground or like a test area. You go down there, you get your jokes, you play them, you say them, and then you see which ones resonate with everybody. The ones that get the laughs you keep, and the ones that you don't get laughs you throw away, and then you get new jokes. So the scenario that he said is he goes in with 10 jokes, people laugh at 2, and he keeps the 2, then he rotates 8, and then maybe the 2 that stick, he goes to another bar, he does it again, and he basically recycles the jokes until he gets 10 jokes that he just does a really good job throughout. So that's how you get good. So when you start doing your stories, that's what you need to do. You need to get good at telling your story. So for me, it would be just talking about your origin story, what it is that I did, why do I do what I do now, and what brought me on this journey. So sharing your story every day is going to help you get good at sharing it and getting the little stories within the stories that are good. So what he was saying is, when he got to about episode 42 on doing his podcast, he started to find his voice. He started to find what resonated with him and what resonated with his audience, right? So as you continue to do that, you continue to build. So you'll see that you have a 20%, you have a 40%, and then a 50%, which is awesome. And then he said to pick a medium, pick where you want to start putting your content, whether that's audio, whether that's visual, or whether that's written. So the written is going to be on Medium or a platform like that. Medium publishes to multiple areas, so that's why he recommended Medium. Then Facebook Live basically is if you like to be in front of a camera, or if you're always dressed up or always in a presentable state, you can do Facebook Lives, and you can do that and then repurpose that. You can do Facebook Live or Instagram TV. And then you got Anchor, which is just the audio. So basically a platform where you can record audio and then put it out and monetize it. So those are the 3 mediums. Your homework was to set up an account today. And then your challenges for 365 days, you're going to publish. You're going to publish. All right. So Julie talked about the different platforms. She kind of gave you a breakdown of the scenario. She talked about, the age breakdown. She talked about, if you have a Facebook Live, that's your older generation, so about 30 to 50. Anyone that's not on C-suite. So this is talking about businesses. You're not going to find businesses on Facebook. You find a few, but not many. And then if you get up most days and you get dressed for your job, it's great to do the lives. And you need to be high energy. You need to be engaging with the audience. That's where you will, get that audience, and that's how you should be on that platform. You also need to have, you don't need to have visuals to do your presentation or aids, right? And then you can do podcasts. So she talked about Anchor. You basically have an audience that is 20 to 40 years old, entrepreneurs, self-developers. They value education for their life. One of the big things that they talked about is maybe not being ready for camera, maybe for the on-the-go entrepreneur or somebody that needs to be doing multiple items, high energy, usually a high I, and the content doesn't need visuals to come across and deliver the message that needs to be seen. And then blogging, with the blogging, you can basically, that can be any audience, somebody that loves to read, loves to, blog, Google search niches, not camera ready. And then it doesn't need to be high energy. It could just be good delivery, right? She also talked about Instagram. She said Instagram is for a younger population, so 15 to 40. The niche that shines with images. So this one is about having a lot of images to post and to just draw people's attention. You do get dressed on most days, and then you're comfortable with photos and writing and intimacy with podcasting and Medium combination of, so this one is almost like a hybrid, right? And then the other thing that she mentioned was being omnipresent, which is pretty cool. So when you're omnipresent, what that means is that you're everywhere at once. The only person that I know that can do that is God, but they showed you a pretty cool way to do that. So you can do a Facebook Live, take the Facebook Live video, you can strip the audio, turn it into a podcast, and then you can take the video and also get it transcribed where you get the written portion of it, and then you can edit it and then put it out as a blog. So that's how you become omnipresent and post in all facets and do the most with your product and get the most out of your product. It's called repurposing, and it gives you a great audience to reach versus just reaching one audience. The best advice that she gave was to just get started. And then you had your powerhouse. You had Steve Larson coming in, and he just talked about publishing. He talked about don't outsource it. Don't outsource the attractive character. You cannot outsource the attractive character, which is you. People want to buy you, not your product. They want to buy your story, not your product. They want to buy your pain, not your product. Your growth, not your product, right? So basically in this, he just talked about making sure that you don't outsource the role of becoming an attractive character. He talked about Libsyn, doing, $5 podcasting, talks about things that you can design, finding your voice, giving yourself the permission to suck. When you first start, you're not going to be good, and that's okay. But you need to start to get good, right? Nobody started great, but they started to get great. All right. Be authentic. Have people understand and connect with you, your voice, you as a person, and then publish now. He talked about just publishing. Day 2. Let me stop right there. So he said week 2, day 1, we still talking about Stephen Larson. He talked about the content publishing machine. So he talked about taking an MP3, and with that MP3, getting it transcribed, just like Julie talked about. And then basically taking the audio and having the audio published on multiple platforms, whether that's iTunes and Groove or Google Store, just different areas. And he talked about taking the information and then doing a video if you have a video, if you have the transcription, and then posting it everywhere. So he showed you how to do that. He talked about the importance of your story. The story is 80% of what you're going to be doing. And then there's 20% tactics. So you need to sell something, but the way that you sell it is with your story. People need to connect with your story. They need to get to know, like, and trust you. If people don't know, like, and trust you, they're not going to buy from you. That's like stranger danger. I'm not going to do that. All right. Again, don't outsource the attractive character. He also talked about a complex way to deliver. So if you do a video, how to strip the MP3, how to strip the text, and then how to distribute that. But what he said is when you want to do that, he recommends you get a team, and then you get everybody that's good in the different components to do their job. Basically, I think he said he pays like $20,000, but that $20,000 that he pays to get everybody to do that, he gets $50,000 from it. So he's literally making $30,000 off of the $20,000 that he's investing in the omnipresent type of distribution and creation that he has with his content creation machine. So for day 2, for week 2, we talked about the epiphany bridge. So what was important here is understanding that your epiphany bridge is what gets people to say, you know what, I want to pay you. The way that you do that is getting them to get the aha that you got that made you come on this journey. So it's finding out what caused you to logically shift in your journey to where you are now. So don't try to impress people by, doing what we call techno babbling, where you're just talking about all these crazy things. So if you're trying to get somebody to join ClickFunnels, you're not going to talk about bridge page and epiphany bridge and a hook story offer. What you're going to do is you're going to tell them your story. You're going to tell them about, so I started this business because I wanted to change the world. And the way that I changed the world is by changing myself. And the way that I started changing myself is I started reading books. And then I found this book that helped me understand that in order for me to become better at marketing, better at selling, because I really didn't like selling, I needed to actually become better at storytelling. And how do you do that? By telling your stories. And what does ClickFunnels do? They teach you how to tell your story. And once you learn how to tell your story, you can turn it into a enticing offer. Once you turn it into an enticing offer, you can now sell without being salesy. That's powerful. One of the things that I don't like doing is being salesy. So being able to tell a story and get people to open up their wallet and say, hey, I want to pay you because I really like what you're telling me. You're going to help me and I like it. And so they pay you, right? So you also have to, in your story, you need to interweave the things that cause you to have an emotional connection to where your journey is. People buy emotionally, but they justify things logically. So what Russell talks about here is like, okay, I bought this Lamborghini because it's amazing, it's fast, and it's, what I want. However, logically, you have to kind of justify, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell my house to afford the Lamborghini, but you don't want to do that. So he just talked about, the understanding the difference between controlling somebody's state. You want to give them the emotion that you felt when you came on this journey so that they can emotionally be invested in what it is that you're selling. Once you do that, they're going to justify in their minds why they need to buy. All right. They also talked about the most powerful pages in the book being page 114 and page 123, where it talks about the Epiphany Bridge. All right. Logic never gets people to buy. So don't be logical, be emotional. Get people to connect with you on an intimate level. Tell your audience your story, and then so that they can have the epiphany that you want them to have. You need to tell them their story. The next thing is with Stephen. He talked about the Epiphany Bridge as well. He said storytelling is what's going to get you paid. Your story tells people where you were when you realized the change. So don't geek out. Don't talk about all these fancy things. Just tell them your story. Bring them on the journey. Let them feel what it is that you're feeling. Talk about it being, how the weather was outside, how you felt, the pain, the discomfort, maybe the nervousness, maybe, being cold, just different things, and let them experience that in their mind. The mind is the most powerful thing. So if you can tell people what to feel and they feel it, in turn, they turn around and they come closer to you along the journey. He also talked about, the amplifying of your story is where you go ahead and you install beliefs. Your story is your sale message. So your ability to make money is directly tied to your ability to market, which is directly tied to your ability to tell a story. Cash is the byproduct of marketing. You got to understand how to do this without, trying to get too geeky or techie with people. All right. One thing that stuck out from Steve Larsen, he talked about branding. So branding comes second, and logos come way further down the line. Get good at telling your story. Get good at making your offer. Hook people with your story, and you'll do well. Day 3, we talked about your origin story. So specifically, we talked about the bridge first, why it's important that you have an epiphany bridge. So getting people to understand that aha, but then giving them your origin story, why you do what you do, what brought you to the point where you're at now. And then he talked about just different things within the origin story. With the origin story, you need to basically walk people through a path, through a journey. And it talks about external desires. He talked about losing weight. I want to lose weight. We're comfortable with that, right? One of the things that stops you from losing weight is being comfortable where you at in your journey. Internal desires, like why do you want to lose weight? You just being honest with yourself. I want my kids to love me. I want my wife to accept me. I want to look good. Those are internal desires, right? Then you run into the wall. Well, what is your current opportunity? Well, we often get stuck with, I don't have enough time. Well, we all have the same 24 hours. So that is how you get past that wall. The new opportunity vehicle. So mental trigger. So what do you do to get yourself to start working out? Well, I'm going to set an alarm. And if you have an iPhone, what you can do is you can actually set your alarm to go off, and it'll say, get up and own the day, right? You can tell your alarms what to tell you when you set them. So you can have mental triggers to help you work out every day. Then he talked about a plan. So what do you do? So the night before, setting it up so that you can execute. You put your clothes out. You have your workout out. You have it laid out so that as soon as you get up, you see it and then you execute. All right? Then there's a conflict. Well, do I have to work out every day? Yes, you do. Even when you don't feel like it, work out every day. All right. And then this is the achievement. So yes, you get in nice shape. You get in a nice body. That's your achievement. But you know what happened? What happened that was more important is your transformation, because you became consistent, you became disciplined, you became a better person because you were disciplined. So the transformation is more important than the achievement. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when here with Stephen. So Stephen talked about, the importance of that transformation. People buy the transformation. They don't buy the achievement. Yes, they want the achievement, but it's the power of the transformation. What happened to you that can happen to them? All right. Here we talked about, the position the story so that you are able to guide them from the beginning to the end. Understand this journey, the walk that you take. The easiest customer to sell are the ones that are already buying the things that you already have and you're selling, right? So your story is going to guide them over that last hurdle. Basically, if you have a red ocean, which we talked about before, and the red ocean is selling, fitness products, your job is to sell them whatever they're already buying, but packaged differently, right? So they want a quick fix on fitness, but what they're currently going through is a struggle, right? So what you're going to do is give them home videos. You're going to give them easy to use ab workouts. You're going to give them to, 5 to 10 minute workouts, whatever it is that you can do for that audience, that it's already new, but it's packaged slightly different to speak to that audience. Are you tired of struggling with your workouts? Yes. Is it getting hard to just be consistent? Yes. As you get people to say these yeses multiple times in their heads, you're getting them to basically buy your product before you sell it to them. You get them to say yes a few times, and then you sell it to them, and they'll say, "Take my money." Why haven't you taken my money yet? Okay. Day 4 for week 2, we talked about hooks, and more hooks. Basically, every part of your offer needs to have a story that goes with it. If you're selling fitness products, you need to talk about why it's important that you work out. Why is it important that this workout is amazing? This workout is amazing because it starts with, a quick 5-minute workout to get your blood flowing. And then you can get consistent by doing these things before you go to bed at night. Oh, by the way, we have this amazing water bottle to keep you hydrated, and it tracks your water intake. Oh, you know what? Before you leave, we have this amazing video that you can actually plug and play. Every day you can play the video, do a quick workout before you go to bed, quick workout when you get up, and within 30 days, you'll know this amazing transformation. But everything that you have on your page needs to have a story. Every single offer, all right? We also talked about basically becoming an anti-red with your headlines. Are you tired of working out every day and not getting results? Yes. Are you tired of using, protein and not getting the results you want? Basically, whatever they're already buying, you want to throw rocks at them. Now, one important thing that he talked about is you don't throw rocks at companies. You don't throw rocks at companies or at people. You throw rocks at ideas, at the thought of something. All right. So the lack of time with fitness, and those people, when you sell to them, not only are going to be your greatest clients, they're going to be the greatest ones to take action, which is the right type of customer. Don't get tied up with trying to get customers just to get customers. Get the right type of customers, because you want people that are going to take action and they're going to listen to what you're telling them to do. All right. People are more likely they're 40% more likely to share something that they like. Now, what was interesting enough is he said, when you get people to get angry, and he said, be very careful. He's not telling you to make people angry, but when you get people to feel anger or frustration, they are 4 times more likely to share than if they liked it. That's 120% more that they would share if you cause them a feeling of frustration or anger. And that can be easily as like, are you tired of going to the gym and not getting results? Yeah, you're right. I am tired of that. Well, come over here. Get this product that I got. It's going to help you. All right. So throw rocks at your enemy, and make sure that you're throwing rocks at ideas, beliefs, things that people think are working that aren't working, and you have a better result for them. Then there were some bonus days. So we had 2 days where we got to basically take a break and relax, Yeah, right. During these 2 days, we talked about your success depends on you. The hardship that you face are specific to you. So the struggles that I have in my business, the struggles that I have on my journey are specific to me. Nobody can help me with that. That's why it's important that you go on this journey. You take the steps. You move every day. Every challenge that you get, every hurdle that you overcome, there's going to be a new challenge that presents itself. He talked about, you have 3 tasks that you need to get done. Once you get task 1 done, there's another third task that is going to appear. But your focus should be on accomplishing step 1. Once you're done with step 1, you focus on step 2. Once you finish with step 2, then you focus on step 3. Stop learning everything just to learn, right? Just stop it. Stop learning just to learn. The only thing you need to focus is on your Epiphany Bridge. Focus on your Epiphany Bridge script and get good at delivering your origin story. All right? Get clear about what you want, and everything else becomes clearer. I'm going to repeat that. Get clear what you want, and then everything else becomes clearer. People don't buy because of your product. They buy because of your sales message. So if you want to make money, get good at telling stories. What is your story? What story can you tell relating to your product? And then your offer, right? Your offer plus your message equals your funnel. It doesn't matter what you sell. It's all the same. People will tell you, well, I'm different. I'm in this market, or I'm doing this. No, your offer plus your message equals your funnel. People don't buy. It doesn't matter what you sell. They're going to buy your message and your offer, right? So he talked about the 4 things that you want to do. You want to get a lead, you want to close the lead, you want to replenish the lead, and you want to fulfill on the purchase, right? So you fulfill the purchase on the back end. And then every time that you replenish the lead, that means you're having somebody come back into your cycle. They're getting the lead, closing the lead, replenish the lead, right? And then you fulfill on that lead, all right? Become a self-solver. Don't rely on anybody else. Listen, just like somebody's opinion of you isn't your business, your success is your success. You are the only one that can make you successful. So as I would tell people, believe in you because I already do. So until you believe in yourself, I believe in you. All right. You got greatness in you. Let's execute. All right. He also talked about, contract. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to the slide. Here we go. All right. He said, basically make sure that you identify your red ocean first, and then find out what people are buying, and then sell it back to them. Every sale has a story. Find their pain point, right? The only thing that's the same between the Epiphany Bridge and the origin story is that they use the Epiphany Bridge script, right? A lot of people think that you need to have an origin story for every product. No, your origin story is the story. The Epiphany Bridge is what you use to tell the story, because you want to take them on a journey, all right? So don't fear emailing your customers. This is another thing. This is something that I struggled with. You're gonna see that the most successful people email their customers probably on a daily basis. And why is that? Because it takes people 7 times of contact before they take action, right? 7 times. And if you're emailing them once a month, it's gonna take you 7 months to make progress. How do you like them apples? If you email them every day, within a week, you'll get some results. All right? So every story needs to start with high drama. Listen, you don't have to come from nothing. You don't have to be homeless, but it needs to start with high drama. I think about why I started my journey. And I shared this in a podcast. And, so I didn't have my dad growing up. And it really bothered me because I felt like it was my fault. And I noticed that, when I became a father, that was one of the things that I struggled with. I wanted to be there for my kids, and in my journey to want to be there, I would at times, be physically present, but not mentally present, because I was thinking about all these things like, I want to be a provider. And being a provider is not the same thing as being a father, right? Being a father means you're connecting. It means you're talking with your kids, spending time with them, not just bringing the bacon. And because of that, it took me on a journey where I was trying to find this thing that was missing. And what was missing was me. I had to find myself. And along that journey, I became a leader. And so for me, it's important that on this journey, that not only that I became a father that's present, but a good dad, a good friend, and a good leader. And so that's why I'm on this journey, because I want people to understand that you need somebody to believe in you until you believe in yourself. You need to have a great environment, which is what I was looking for. And lastly, you need to invest in your future. And I don't mean in yourself, but I mean in your future, like your kids. So spending time with them, investing in them. So that's why we're on this journey. That's why I'm on my journey, because I had a broken home. I didn't have a lot of leaders around me, and I didn't have nobody pouring into me the way that I felt like I needed to have people pour into me. So that's why I do what I do. But that wasn't very dramatic. But, if I tell you my story, then maybe you'll kind of understand some of it. But just know that, it doesn't have to be homeless to millionaire. It just needs to show people that you have struggles because they're going to relate to your struggle. Okay. This is something that I've also struggled with, is launch it imperfectly. He said, just start selling and see what the market's going to buy. So put your products out there. Put it out there. Let people tell you if it's good or not good. If they don't buy, guess what? It's okay. Your offer sucks, right? If your offer sucks, change your offer and then put it back out there. And then ask them for feedback. Hey, I'm putting this out as a beta. Tell me what you would like. And then people will tell you. People will tell you with either asking for refunds, or they will tell you with you, changing your product. Hey, I would love it if you would add this, this, and this, and I would just buy it in a heartbeat. Done. Add what they tell you. Get out of your own head and start swinging the bat, right? Stop waiting, put it in beta, and launch it. You have to have your origin story published somewhere. So you better publish it, and publish it now, right? Publish your origin story. All right. Day 6. This was supposed to also be a break, but we got some awesomeness from Julie today. She talked about the content creation with Trello automation. So basically what this is a creative way to get a team to do the work for you. So if you're at a point in your business where you're bringing in enough cash flow where you can kind of get a team together, and you can do this is phenomenal, because you can actually have a board where you can actually have people go in and actually do this stuff for you. So I'm going to try to see if I can actually go in here and show you my Trello board. All right, so this is what my Trello board looks like. And basically, you can come in here and you can make all kinds of stuff. So it talks about like different things. You can change the background in here. You can also attach people. So in here right now, it's me and Sharita. And then we have 2 other individuals that help us out. When you come over here to your boards, you can actually pick whichever boards you have. These are all the affiliates that I have. So I come in here and click on it. And then it just talks about different affiliates, right? So you come in here. Actually, let me close this real quick. And then it shows all the things that I am an affiliate for, right? So you got Ecamm Lives, you got Calendly, you got Kajabi, you got ClickFunnels, you got JMT, and then Bluehost. Right now, I don't have anything in there because what I've been doing is, as I've complete tasks, I let the Butler bot complete the task and get it done. When you have coaching clients, you come in here, you can basically say, okay, this coaching client needs to be onboarded. What else are you doing? So we do a marriage consultation, leadership training, youth development, consultant, business building, all right? Different things that you're working on, you can put it in there and you can start putting your products in there. But basically what Julie talked about is content creation, having multiple people work on a project. And once they're done, you can move it from creating the content over to ready to be posted to posted, and then you're done. That way, you know where it's at, where it's going at all times, and you can go from there. So a great way to do it, you can do the Butler bot, which is pretty cool to automate it if you don't have a team to move the task, and he can move it for you. You get 25 commands for free. You can basically authenticate the Butler bot and then add it to your stuff. If you want, go back to watch the videos and you can see exactly how to do it. And then basically just talking about how to repurpose stuff. So if you do a Facebook Live, you can turn it into a podcast, turn it into a blog, and then go from there. I put two links in there for you guys to see. One of them is the ButlerBot, just kind of like how to, and then there's a ButlerBot tutorial that I put in there as well. Make sure that when you do that, I like to put a lot of hashtags. So what she was showing you in there is you can have a little section where you have all your hashtags and you can just grab them, move them, and then whenever you put a post, you can have your hashtags already preloaded. So when you go to do your post for the next day, like what I'll do is I always have my post either in Evernote and then I share it with Sharita. She will do her edits and then it'll post on both of our Evernotes, right? So we can do the same thing in here, and then she can say Evernote is done. Your post for the day is done. Picture, got it. So what we do is we take and I create a post for the day. Then Sharita goes in and she edits the post. And then I will ask her what image comes to mind when she reads the post. She'll tell me a few ideas. We'll go find the image. We'll put the image in there. We'll modify it. We'll put a tagline, and then we'll also put the hashtag. And then we just post it. And so what we do is once it's done, she'll let me know, and then we know that it's ready to be posted. So we post it at the same time every day for consistency purpose, but that helps us to get to where we're getting. And then the last thing that we covered is today Shane had a post as well, or actually on day 6, Shane had a post and he talked smart URL. Now this is a little bit advanced, but the smart URL basically allows you to take a URL, so whatever link you have, and it allows you to manipulate it so that multiple people can get it and use it with that one link. With the one link, what will happen is, say for example, I want to watch something on my smartphone, and my smartphone is an Apple device, but then I get home and I want to watch it on my tablet, and my tablet is a PC, or maybe I have a Android phone, but I have an iPad. This smart link allows the member to get directed to the same link through its proper medium, right? So what happens sometimes is if I go and I publish something on Anchor and I publish it on an iPhone, if the user on the other end isn't an iPhone user, it's going to redirect them. And sometimes when that redirect goes to a different page, it might be blocked or it may not work because it's not the right format for that specific product. And what happens is you can lose a customer. So he teaches you how to break down and get the smart URL. So it's a link that you go to. You basically grab the link that you want, you put it into the smart URL, and then you basically select the devices, and then you put it in the format for that device. And at the very end, what you'll do is you'll say save and validate. And once you validate it, it will basically give you one smart link, and that one link, whenever somebody clicks on it, it'll direct them directly to the format for that device that they're on, keeping your customers close. That's pretty awesome because that's something that I really didn't know. I knew a little bit about link redirects and different items like that, but I didn't really pay attention to smart URLs, which means that it's just like the smartphone. They can do everything. You can allow your content to be put on any device. All right. Well, goodbye for now. Thank you for tuning in. This is week 2, and we look forward to seeing you week 3. It's time for funnel building.